Leaked judges' email revealed them referring to Catalonia's push for independence as a coup d'etat and comparing it with Nazi Germany. Hello and welcome to Catalan News. The scandal is shaking the political and judicial spheres in Catalonia and Spain. Judges calling the leaders of the pro-independence movement Nazis and pushists and saying no negotiation should be accepted with them. We'll get you all the details on this on the first anniversary of the police raids and arrests that played a decisive role in the political situation in the country. Is the Spanish judiciary independent? This question has been at the heart of the political debate today in Catalonia. A media investigation has unveiled conversations between judges openly opposed against independence. This at a time when the judicial reaction to the push for sovereignty from Spain, with the jailing of 9 leaders and the prosecution of dozens more, has been controversial.
Leaked chat logs show Spanish judges challenging Catalonia's push for independence in official forums. Some compare Catalonia with Nazi Germany. Others accuse pro-independence leaders of carrying out a coup and say they should be put on trial for violent rebellion, and this is before the courts began to investigate them. The leaked conversation sparked outrage among pro-independence supporters, and Catalan President Quim Torra made a public appearance condemning the messages.
La poca confiança que pogués quedar en la justícia espanyola avui s'ha trencat definitivament. No hi ha seguretat jurídica pels independentistes a l'estat espanyol.
Torra called on the highest judicial official in Spain to resign and demanded an investigation into the matter. He also announced that he would raise his concerns with the European Commission and demanded, once again, that all jailed pro-independence leaders be released. Meanwhile, the Spanish president made it clear that he is not willing to confront the judiciary.
Es que el gobierno de España confía en la independencia y en la imparcialidad del Poder Judicial en nuestro país en lo que respecta al proceso judicial abierto contra los líderes del proceso de Cataluña.
Judges for Democracy, a progressive group, stressed that the leaked messages only represent a tiny minority of their colleagues. According to the group, none of the judges who commented in the forums are in charge of any case involving Catalan leaders. Meanwhile, in Brussels, a group of MEPs asked the Commission to launch an investigation into the matter.
While the Catalan president says the leaked email showed a lack of judicial independence in Spain, his Spanish counterpart defended the integrity of the system. Other political players reacted as well. Here's what some of them had to say.
Exigim que el Consell General del Poder Judicial investigui l'abast d'aquestes actituds de tics franquistes dins de la judicatura.
És que el problema és l'aparell judicial de l'Estat que està completament podrit, que és corrupció i que està connectat en aquesta gran claveguera que és l'Estat espanyol, connectat amb els poders mediàtics, amb el govern de l'Estat, amb les forces policials.
El que escrivien o el que podien pensar alguna d'aquestes persones a través dels correus és el que escrivíem i podíem pensar la majoria de catalans que no som independentistes.
La paraula dels jutges s'ha de llegir a les seves resolucions judicials i són lliures com qualsevol de manifestar les seves opinions.
The news of the chat logs broke on the first anniversary of the September 20th events. Exactly 1 year ago, police raids and arrests prompted thousands to take to the streets spontaneously. And to remember that, citizens took to the streets today as well. Our colleague Rachel Bathgate is there on the ground. Rachel, what's happening and why are people protesting today?
Yes, hi Alex. People are gathered here today near and in front of the Ministry of Economy to protest the events that took place exactly here and exactly 1 year ago, but especially all that these events led up to. So 1 year ago, the Spanish police conducted scores of raids arresting various Catalan officials, and as a response, various pro-independence supporters who were against these raids and these arrests in the run-up to the vote on independence, which would take place on October 1st, came here to protest. This included civil society pro-independence leaders Jordi Sánchez and Jordi Cuixart, who, for their actions on that day, were the first pro-independence leaders to be put into prison. So there they remain, in fact. They have been in preemptive jail this entire time. So they were actually the first to enter, and they are accused of sedition. So this protest has become quite large, as you can see behind me, and you can see the recurring themes of the Estelada, the Catalan independence flag, the color yellow. We're seeing various people carrying large yellow ribbons, as well as people having smaller banners which say no ens aturarem, we will not stop, we will not give up, and holding them up while chanting freedom for political prisoners. So what happened on this day last year, however, would also color the events of the whole year to come. Let's find out how. September 20th, 2017. One of the most decisive days in Catalonia's push for independence. In a show of force, Spanish police tried to halt preparations for the October 1st referendum. They ultimately failed. But events that day would seal the fate of several pro-independence leaders. It all started early in the morning, with police raiding Catalan ministries and arresting government officials. Pro-independence supporters responded by taking to the streets en masse. They were later joined by politicians, as well as Jordi Cuixart and Jordi Sánchez, the leaders of the two largest grassroots organizations of the pro-independence movement.
Actitud no violenta.
They tried to calm down protesters, engaged in talks with police officers, and even helped form a corridor to ensure agents could leave the buildings. Subsequent police reports, though, accused them of inciting protest and blocking the police operation. Such accusations were the basis for sending them to jail 2 weeks after the referendum. They were the first pro-independence leaders to enter prison. A year later, they are still awaiting trial. Today, speaking to the media, they made clear that they do not regret their actions that day and say they would do the same again. But the police operation that day had other far-reaching consequences. Arrested officials were released the following day, but documents seized from the right-hand man of the former vice president were key in the case of pro-independence leaders accused of rebellion. A case that, with some politicians in jail and others exiled abroad, still dominates Catalan politics.
Moving on to business now. Foreign investment has been booming in Catalonia for years, but the latest figures are looking gloomy. Foreign investment in Catalonia fell by 40% during the first half of this year. It's the lowest it has been for this period since 2014. The total expenditure from companies abroad has been set at just under €1 billion. These figures, though, come after 2017's first months saw an all-time record for foreign investment. It's probably one of the most iconic monuments in Barcelona, but do you know it's still unfinished? Yes, I'm talking about the Sagrada Familia. Antoni Gaudi's spectacular cathedral has been in construction for ages and is keeping the year 2026 on the horizon as a deadline for its completion. But hey, for those of us that don't want to wait that long, this year already saw the end of the facade of the Passion, and ongoing works will focus on the 6 central towers of the church.
Hi haurà representades 12 escenes evangèliques i d'allà en amunt una representació artística del firmament o de l'univers, que tindrà en compte els coneixements actuals de la ciència sobre la formació de l'univers o la història.
Moving on, are you a fan of scream parks? Catalonia will have one of the biggest ones in Europe this Halloween. A scary tavern where they cook humans, a haunted house with members of a freakish sect, or a cornfield where you wouldn't even want to set foot in for fear of what lurks within. These are only some of the highlights of the horror theme park that the southern town of Cambrils will open between October 12th and November 10th. A spooky option as autumn sets in. And with this, we finish today's show. We leave you with some music by the Mahler Chamber Orchestra in their inaugural concert of this season at the Palau de la Música.